been out?
About 2 weeks. Here. You must be hungry.
What? Thanks. 2 weeks? What happened to me? And who are you?
My name is Gold. I found you buried in the snow, nearly frozen to death. I was able to get you back to my den before the worst part of the blizzard. You're lucky to be alive.
You saved my life? Thank you, Gold. But I really must get back to my clan now. My parents are gonna kill me for running off.
I'm afraid leaving is kind of impossible right now. You see, we're snowed in. It will take a few days to melt.
What? You mean I'm stuck here? What about food?
There's no need to worry. I've got enough food to last us until the thaw. Herbs as well. I was gathering my last batch of herbs when I found you. I had to leave some of them behind.
Thank you for finding me and sacrificing some of your precious herbs, but I really have to get home. There must be a way out of here.
I'm really sorry, but...
There has to be. Maybe we can dig our way out.
You're welcome to try.
Mom and Dad will be worried sick about me. They must think I'm dead by now. It's no use. It's like a wall of ice.
I told you so. There's no need to work yourself up. You won't be away from your clan forever. Please, come and sit down. You're still weak.
I guess you're right. The name's Spirit, by the way.
I'm Gold. If you don't mind me asking, Spirit, what were you doing out in the forest all by yourself?
Well, I was having my apprenticeship assessment, and I really wanted to be a healer, but our healer already had 2 apprentices. So I couldn't train to be one. I'd have to be a hunter, which wasn't what I wanted. So I kind of ran off. I just really needed some time on my own to think. Looking back, though, that was a really stupid thing for me to do. I shouldn't have been so selfish.
Spirit, why do you want to be a healer?
Well, I've always enjoyed helping cats, and I was told by my clan's healer that I have a gift for healing. I used to help her sort herbs.
Oh, really? Say, Spirit, maybe you could help me. What's the name of this herb here, and what is it used for?
Those are blackberry leaves. They're used for bee stings, I think.
You don't think that's what these are. You know what they are, Spirit. It's okay, you don't have to be shy. I can already tell you're very good at this. How about these ones?
Oh, that's catmint. I recognize the smell. You can use it to treat a cough. I remember seeing those nearby camp during my assessment.
That's right. What about this herb? There wasn't much of this herb near Feral Clan territory, back from what I can remember.
Oh, I recognize those. It's marigold. Daisy told me to use this to keep wounds from getting infected. Also, those herbs over there are lavender, watermint, and wild garlic. Lavender is used for treating coughs and fevers, as well as stress relief, while watermint is used to treat belly aches, and wild garlic is used for keeping infections out of wounds. It's also good for rat bites. And those ones right there are poppy seeds, which numb pain, and daisy leaves. Those are good for aching joints.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk your ear off. I just really wish I could have trained to be a healer.
No, I'm impressed, Spirit. You truly have a talent for healing, and a great memory for herbs. Your clan would be lucky to have you as a healer.
Thanks, Gold. But that'll never happen now. I'll be lucky if they even want me back after the stunt I pulled.
Don't worry, you're young. They'll forgive you.
I hope so. Anyways, how did you learn how to heal, Gold?
A long time ago, I was Feral Clan's healer. But I had to leave.
I thought you might have been. Did you know Fang? He's our leader now. And my grandpa.
Wow. You're Fang's granddaughter. Time certainly has passed. I did know him. He's a fine cat. I'm sure he has led the clan well. Certainly better than Slate would have.
Oh yeah, Slate. I've heard about him. He was evil.
Well, no cat is born evil.
What do you mean?
It's a long story.
Well, I think we've got a while.
Very well, young one, I'll tell you the story. Long ago, when I was young, Boulder's father, Sol, was leader. At this time, Feral Clan was still new and figuring out its laws and customs.
Oh, cool! Since you grew up during that time, do you know why kits are apprenticed at 3 moons?
It was decided that kits should be apprenticed at 3 moons, because at that age they're curious and eager to learn new things, which makes it easier for them to pick up a skill. It's better for the clan if each cat is a master at one certain skill, such as hunting, healing, or fighting. That way, every cat has their special talent and a way that they can add to the clan, instead of everyone being equally proficient at the same tasks.
But how was the leader able to choose what a cat should train to do for their entire life? What if they make a mistake?
I wouldn't want that kind of responsibility to rest on my shoulders. I disagree with the system. You can't just force a kit into a lifelong job after watching them for an afternoon. Skills and interests develop as you live.
Yeah, that's true. And what about the hunting party? Why do we send them out every year before the first snowfall?
Winters have always been hard on Feral Clan, since prey is scarce and the weather unforgiving. It was after one especially trying winter, where we lost many of the youngest and oldest members of our clan to starvation and cold. To prevent this from happening again, it was decided that from then on, before every leaf bear, a hunting party of Feral Clan's strongest hunters would be sent out into the mountains to gather enough prey to last the clan throughout the winter.
But if Feral Clan's best hunters leave the clan, who will catch the prey while they're away?
That's a flaw I always saw in the system as well. If something was to happen to those cats, I really don't know what would happen. Many of the members of Feral Clan have never had to catch prey for themselves.
Wow. So, what happened after that winter? Did the clan recover?
Not at first. After that close call with death, the members of the clan were scared. They started getting desperate and going to the humans for food. Feral Clan was suffering and its future looked bleak. They wouldn't survive till spring unless something changed.
Cats of Feral Clan. We are a clan for a reason. We stick together. We fight for each other. It seems that some of you have forgotten that. You want to leave the clan and go back to being a human's pet? Don't you remember why we left in the first place? The humans abused us. They hurt us, and they took away our rights. So we left, and we came here. We vowed to stay together and help one another. How are we keeping those vows if we're running back to the humans for food? You're betraying the clan. Having a paw in both worlds is impossible. Make your choice now. Either you stay here and live a life of honor and serve your clan, or return to the easy life of being a human's toy. But if you choose to leave and turn your back on the clan, you can't come back. You will have sealed your fate as a traitor.
From then on, Feral Clan has had very little tolerance for traitors.
Is that where the term dirt blood came from?
In part. To be a dirt blood would mean that you are the kin of a traitor. Fang was called a dirt blood because of his father, Forest. As you know, he betrayed his mate and clan by leaving and having an affair with a stray. The cats of Feral Clan had a lot of resentment towards Fang because he was the product of betrayal and adultery, which they thought dirtied his blood and made him undesirable.
How was it that Fang became leader if the clan treated him so poorly?
Well, I guess the best way to explain it is to start at the beginning. The beginning of Feral Clan, that is. I would know. My father was alive during that time.
Wow! Really? That's so cool!
I'm not sure how much clan history you're familiar with. Back before the clan was called Feral Clan, the cats were mourning the death of Rowan. He'd been the one to lead them away from captivity, and they soon realized that if they were to survive, a new leader would have to be chosen.
Didn't Rowan have a son to take over?
He didn't have any living relatives, but this was before that custom.
So, what did they do then?
They quickly decided that the new leader would be chosen through a fight to the death to prove who was the strongest and most courageous cat to lead the clan. Blood rose to the challenge. He was power-hungry and ruthless. Any cat who didn't agree with him or support his leadership was slaughtered. It was a bloody affair. So many deaths. It's the kind of tale that those who weren't there can't believe it happened, and those who were there wish it hadn't. Blood was a cat that sought chaos and delighted in conflict. But his brother, Feral, was quite the opposite. He knew that a leader had to be more than just physically strong. He tried to reason with Blood, but Blood couldn't hear past his own ambitious desires. In the end, Feral was forced to end the battle by killing Blood, and it was with his death that a new order was ushered in. And the cat's gratitude towards Feral is what spurred the name Feral Clan. Blood is gone now. However, legend says he remained in spirit as Bloodpelt, and now guides the dead safely to our ancestors as his punishment for shedding so much blood.
And ever since then, a male descendant of Feral has led the clan?
Correct. Sol was Feral's firstborn son, and fearing that the past would repeat itself if the clan was left without a leader, it was decided that Sol would take over as leader when his father was no longer fit to lead. Feral passed, and Sol became leader. Sol and his mate had 2 kits, a tom and she-cat, Boulder and Flare. But not long after the birth of his kits, Sol died tragically, leaving a rather young Boulder to lead in his absence, and with Boulder's leadership came even greater challenges. Unfortunately, customs do not last forever. Boulder and his mate had trouble having kits from the start. It wasn't until Boulder had begun growing old that they had their first litter, 2 she-cats and a tom. Boulder was overjoyed at the prospect of having a son to take over in his stead. However, the only male of their litter, Talon, was small and sickly, and he died soon after his birth. Boulder and his mate were heartbroken, not only for the loss of their son, but of Feral Clan's only male heir. Due to them having grown too old to try for another litter and their difficulty the first time, they had to make some different arrangements. Mourning, their eldest daughter was betrothed to her cousin Slate, their next of kin, as it would make for the closest thing to pure blood they could come by. Blood is important in Feral Clan. You have to be born of the strongest and wisest in order to lead. Though, if you were to ask me, I'd say it is simply out of fear that they refuse to differ from their customs.
But if they won't pick a leader that isn't of pure blood because of what happened with Bloodpelt and all that, then what happened to make them afraid to let a she-cat be leader? I mean, Morning was perfectly healthy and able. And even if she refused, why couldn't her sister Mist be leader?
That is another issue in my eyes. There is no reason for such prejudice. I have never met a she-cat unsuited to serve her clan the same as any tom, but that fear of change is still deep in the veins of Feral Clan. I'm shocked they allowed Fang as a dirt cat to have a position in the clan, much less as leader. Perhaps times are changing.
So you're like my grandpa's age, right?
Older, actually. I've known Fang since he was first brought into the clan.
Whoa! So wait, does that mean you saw the showdown between Fang and Slate when Slate tried to kill Morning?
Well, yes, but I think the stories you've heard might be a little biased.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is my grandpa we're talking about. There's bound to be a few opinions.
Feral Clan has made a habit of not talking about the parts of its past it's not proud of. Or at the very least, it leaving out crucial details. There are some parts of Slate's story that have not yet been told.
What do you mean? I'm sure I've heard it all. He was betrothed to the love of his life and destined to be leader. He was lucky, if anything. And when he was older, he was head guard, loved by all the she-cats. I mean, he got banished later on, but that was his fault, for attacking Morning and trying to kill Fang.
While he might have seemed to have it all together, his pride and charm were all a part of his show of sorts, to make it seem like everything was all right. But if you looked close enough, any fool could see the pain in his eyes. But no one did until it was too late.
Oh, please, you're being melodramatic. What pain would he be going through? I mean, Flare was a bit of an overbearing mother, but even having to deal with someone like that couldn't push someone far enough to kill, could it?
It depends on the cat. But you're right. Flare's overachieving nature for her son isn't what pushed him to his limits. Tell me, Spirit, have you ever heard of Slate's father, Thistle?
Huh. No, I didn't even know Slate had a father.
Thistle was a run-of-the-mill hunter, nothing more, nothing less. Still, as such, he desired much more. So, when he heard Flare going on one of her rants, saying that she's all that because she's the leader's sister, he thought that if he became her mate, he'd get a share of that power. But a portion of nothing is still nothing. Flare had no real leadership power to speak of. So as you can guess, when Thistle found out, he was furious. But it was too late. Flare was already expecting his kits, so there was no backing out. So Slate became what I can only describe as his punching bag, to put it bluntly.
You don't mean...
Now, we don't have any proof to convict Thistle of harming his son, but as far as I could tell, it was pretty obvious. Every so often, when Slate was younger, he would walk around the clan with scratches all across his face and chest. If anybody asked, he'd say he beat a dog, tripped while chasing a thief, or even one time, fended off an army of evil cats. And of course, as young as he was, there was no way he'd be able to do any of that. Some of the things I doubt anyone would be able to do alone, even as a full-grown cat.
Why didn't Flare stop her mate from doing that?
She approved of it. She wanted Slate to be perfect, even if that meant inflicting pain. The actions of his parents brainwashed him into thinking that he must be more assertive and even violent to get his way. It was by her insistence that Slate was arranged to marry his cousin Morning to obtain the position of power.
You were the healer. Didn't Slate come to you for help?
The closest answer I got to the truth was when I was tending to an especially bad gash across his back leg. He mumbled something about some sort of secret training. When I asked what secret training he was talking about, a short look of panic crossed his face before he looked up and said, "Nothing you would understand." And he left before I could finish tending to his wound. Luckily, it didn't get infected, but it did scar. And every time I saw it, it made me wonder. It wasn't too long after that Slate started turning all of his aggression toward Fang. I mean, it wasn't hard to do. Everyone already resented the dirt blood, so no one would notice a few more insults into the mix. Or if they did, no one would care. Fang, to Slate, was the one thing he knew he was better than. No matter how weak or useless Slate might feel, he was at the very least better than this foul excuse for a cat.
That's awful.
I don't condone his actions. I simply explain them. So after he became a guard, then the head guard later, he kept self-esteem in check by berating Fang. As time passed, Slate became a very attractive adult, and was finally getting the attention he thought he deserved. His confidence grew, even more since Thistle had passed away at this point. Slate spent all of his free time with Morning.
I'm sorry, Gold, to interrupt you again, but why exactly did Slate want Morning so badly? Was it just for power? Like with his dad and Flare?
It's fine. I suspect what drew Slate to Morning so much was her kindness. Morning seemed to care for everyone, even the dirt blood. And while Slate despised Fang, deep down he respected Morning for that.
I thought he tried to kill her over that.
As I said, it was subconsciously. Plus, his attack was over the fact that Morning had cheated on him with Fang, not the fact that she didn't absolutely hate Fang. Nevertheless, Morning was kind to everyone, or at the very least polite, even to people she despised. Slate mistook that politeness for returning his affection. Still, her constant avoidance of commitment to him didn't exactly help with his anger issues.
Wait, Slate still had anger issues? With his dad gone, wouldn't you think they'd lessen over time?
Even with Thistle gone, well, dead, Slate's scars still remained, emotionally as well as physically. He vented out his feelings of worthlessness and guilt by using Fang as a scapegoat, but he couldn't physically beat him up without getting complaints from Morning.
So, what did he do? You're implying that he did end up doing something. I can tell.
Clever girl. But I don't think I should tell you. It is a bit disturbing, and I don't want you to think less about...
Slate?
me.
What happened?
This was just after Morning had refused Slate's proposal and was spending most of her time in the healer's den with Fang. I had noticed Slate leave camp when I was going out to fetch herbs. I was nearly through picking out the ones I needed when...
Die! 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 Die!
I had heard someone yelling. I thought someone must have been attacked, so I went to investigate.
Was it Slate?
Mm-hmm. He had apparently fought a badger, but was still beating it after it was long dead. All the while, he was... shouting.
Filthy, worthless piece of nothing! You are weak!
He was obviously upset, so I didn't bother him. I thought I had left before he noticed me,
Who's there?
but...
I said, who's there? Not so fast! Oh, just the healer. I wouldn't have suspected you of snooping around.
I wasn't snooping. I was just checking to see if someone was hurt.
Ah, right. Because it's your duty to help the hurt. Yeah, right. You're so stupid, healer. You think you're a hero? But you're too much of a wimp to actually do anything of importance.
I'm sorry.
And yet, all along, you knew what was happening, but you did nothing.
I didn't...
Yes, you let that cat die instead of treating him properly. Truly, that helped everything. All those years of hurt that you ignored for so long are all forgiven because you let someone die. Sorry, Doc, but death isn't some sort of miracle cure.
I just wanted to...
It's fine. Really. I'm sure that he's burning in agony right now. I just wish that you would have let me be the one to send him there.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't...
But like I said, it's fine. I'm not even mad at you. But just do everyone a favor. And please, don't call yourself a hero. Because there aren't any heroes in this world. And even if there were, you certainly aren't one.
Wow. So what happened next? What did Slate do?
He teamed up with Wolf.
Wolf? You mean like our current head guard Wolf? I didn't know he was friends with Slate.
Wolf was Fang's half-brother, but his mother, Maple, taught him to despise Fang because he was the kit of her former mate and what caused Wolf's father to leave him. Their intense hatred of Fang is what drew them together, and from that point forth, Wolf and Slate were inseparable.
What did they do?
They were both very ambitious and would stop at nothing until they got what they wanted. They were willing to make any sacrifice.
But why?
Slate was beginning to lose hope that he would be able to gain the leadership by becoming Morning's mate. So he began to plot with Wolf to gain power in a much darker way.
What were they planning?
To kill the current leader, Boulder.
What? How did you find out?
I was out in the forest gathering herbs one day, and I overheard Slate and Wolf talking.
Poison is definitely the best course of action. That way, there will be no way of anyone tracing his death back to us.
With Boulder dead, you're the obvious choice for leader, Slate. Since you are the closest thing to an heir that they have, you'll be leader and I'll be head guard.
Exactly. All we need now is a cat who knows a thing or two about poison.
Why would you want to kill your leader?
Ah, gold. Just the Tom we need.
You two are going down an extremely dark path. No cat will follow a corrupt leader such as yourself. It goes against everything Feral Clan stands for. You know, you're no better than Bloodpelt.
Oh, please. Cats will flock to me, Gold. Nothing will stop me from claiming my birthright to lead this clan. Not even you. In fact, you're going to help me.
What? Never!
You'll be the one to make the poison that will kill Boulder.
No! I would never betray Feral Clan. I'd rather die!
Oh, you won't have to die. But if you don't do as we say, I will kill your dumb little apprentice. How's that for incentive?
Don't you dare touch Daisy!
If you help us, I won't. It's your choice.
Fine. I'll help you. But I'm warning you two. Someday, you will be punished for this.
Thanks for cooperating, Gold. And remember, if you breathe a word of this plan to anyone, your apprentice will pay the price.
After I got back, I made the poison and put it in the prey that Wolf would give to Boulder. You can guess what happened next. Slate got himself exiled, Boulder died, and Fang became Feral Clan's new leader. Even though Slate had given me no choice, I felt responsible for Boulder's death, and unworthy of being a member of Feral Clan any longer. I knew I had to leave. Daisy, you've done great today. You know, I really appreciate you. You'll be a great healer.
But I'll never be as good as you, Gold.
I'm not as good as you think I am. Daisy, you're already better in more ways than you know.
If you say so. Good night, Gold.
Goodbye, Daisy. If only things could have been different. After saying my goodbyes to Daisy, I left during a giant snowstorm so that Feral Clan would assume I had died. And I've been living here up in the mountains until now.
Wow. I'm so sorry, Gold. But you shouldn't blame yourself. It was a tough decision, and you did it to save your apprentice. Daisy's become an amazing healer, and she never forgot about you. You've spent enough time punishing yourself. What happened is in the past. You have to move on.
I guess you're right.
Gold, can you please teach me to heal like you? I've heard how great you are, and I really, really want to become a healer.
Of course I will. It will be nice having another apprentice after so long. There's much for you to learn. Let's begin.
I know none of you want to hear this, but it's been 2 weeks since Spirit's disappearance, and it's with a heavy heart that I think we should call off the search for her. We must conserve our strength and focus on feeding the clan if we are to survive this winter, since we are short on hunters with most of them off on the hunting party. Until further notice, every able-bodied member of the clan is responsible for catching their own prey. Storm will be organizing the hunting patrols. Meeting dismissed.
My poor baby. I should have stopped her. That was the worst storm Feral Clan has seen in many winters. Oh, Scar, it's not fair. She was only 4 moons old. Bloodpelt, how could you be so cruel?
It's not your fault, Dew. Spirit ran off before any cat could stop her. All we can do is continue on and be strong for her sake.
Ugh, this isn't fair, Flame! She's not dead! I know she isn't! We would have found her body if she was, right?
Sometimes they never find the body. The snow was awfully deep, but I think you're right. If she were dead, we would know.
Spirit's always been the smartest out of all of us. There's no way she'd let herself freeze to death. Which means she's waiting for us to save her. We have to find out what happened to her.
I know you were close to your sister, Wild, and I admire your faith in your clanmate, but we've done all we can. We have to move on, for your mother's sake.
Spirit is still out there. The clan just isn't looking hard enough. We shouldn't be sitting on our tails moping around like we did after what happened to Locke. I'm her brother. It's my duty to bring her back home.
No, Wild. Your duty is to your clan. You have to accept reality. She's gone, and she's not coming back. Just focus on your training, son. As a leader, you'll have to learn to accept loss, and put your clan above everything.
He's right, you know. Don't do anything you'll regret. Our clan has enough problems going as it is.
These cats are so naive. They welcomed us with open open paws without the slightest suspicion. It won't be too difficult to discover their secrets.
You were right, Blaze. This is by far the easiest infiltration I've ever been a part of. These mangy furballs can't tell a rabbit from a mouse, can they?
You'd think so. Just look at their apprentices. Even my sickly little sister could outrun them.
Oh dear, I'm so sickly.
Shh, we don't want any cat to know it's an act.
Oh dear, you poor thing. That cough sounds awful. You should get some rest. I hope you get to feeling better soon.
Thank you. I'll be sure I do.
That was a close one.
It really is a brilliant plan. Killing off the most experienced hunters and starving them out in the dead of winter.
They'll be so weak they won't even put up a fight when Slate comes back.
You've done well on your first week of guard training, Flame. That move you showed me today was very impressive. You've earned your rest.
Thanks, Ash. I hope to be as strong of a guard as you someday. You too, Cream. I've learned so much from you already.
Oh, thank you, Flame. You're so kind. May the ancestors send you happy dreams.
I wish there was a way to know if Spirit was still alive.
Flame!
Morning. Do you have any news about Spirit for me? Is she alright?
She's fine. There's no need to worry. But I'm afraid that is not the reason I have brought you here tonight.
Thank the stars. But where is she? Is she on her way home? Does she need us to find her?
No, Spirit will be fine. She's safe and following her heart. This is a journey she needs to make on her own. In any case, that is not what I brought you here to discuss. There is something of great importance that you need to know about Flame. Something terrible that must be prevented.
What? What is it?
Flame, listen close. What I am about to share with you will happen, but only if you do not stop it. Be brave and watch closely.
Mark, Blossom, watch out! They're only hunters, they can't protect themselves! There's so much blood. No!
You must warn the clan. You're the hunting party's only hope.